Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the question and answer series, where I answer questions you have about me, Minecraft, YouTube, and some other kind of weird stuff. Anyways, tell you what, let's jump right back into the archaeology questions with the other Daskalos in the field. Okay, I'm back. I've cleaned up, I've had some dinner. Let's get back into it. Next set of topics is going to be misconceptions and grave robbing. All right, firing it off is, what is the most significant misconception non-archaeologists have about archaeology? Really, there's two. The first is that we have something to do with dinosaurs. Archaeology is not about dinosaurs. Zero dinosaurs, okay? Archaeology is the study of human culture through its material remains. Human culture, not dinosaurs. No dinosaurs. Not your fault if you think that archaeology has something to do with dinosaurs. That is all pretty much the media, Hollywood, all that stuff. There's always somebody in some movie who's an archaeologist digging up dinosaurs. So, not your fault, but we don't do it. There are some questions here about dinosaurs, so don't be upset if I'm a little snippy with them. It's just really frustrating to have everyone assume that you dig up dinosaurs when you don't. Okay? Second misconception is that archaeology is all about excavation. And the truth is pretty far from that. In my career as an archaeologist, out of 100% of the time of doing archaeology, about 90% of that is what is called survey, where you and a crew, like for example the crew that I'm working with now, which is 4 people, so a total of 4, so 3 other people, you line up in a line, certain distance apart, and you go in a straight line and you look for stuff. You look for artifacts and features and things that might tell you that there's an archaeological site or some sort of isolated occurrence right there. Okay? Of the remainder 10%, I would say 5% of that is excavation, maybe a little less, and the other 5% is what is called monitoring, maybe a little more than 5%. And what monitoring is let's say you have a gas line crew digging up a gas line or water main or something like that. They sometimes will need an archaeologist there to watch what it is that they're digging up, and in case anything cultural comes up, we hop down in there with them, check it out, and determine from there what to do next. A lot of times we just document and then continue on. Occasionally, there will be something pretty significant that we have to halt that particular section of digging, and they can just move to another section with another archaeologist while we continue what we got to do. But anyways, that's a whole different thing. So anyways, second misconception is that archaeology is a lot about excavation. A lot of people ask me about excavation, but again, to be honest, 90% of what I've done has been survey. So there you have it. So let's move on to these next 4 questions that are all kind of clumped together because they're very similar. What are your thoughts on paleontology? If you snuck into a paleontology dig site, how long would you last before you got found out? How similar, unsimilar archaeology and paleontology? What are your thoughts on dinosaurs? Okay. What are your thoughts on paleontology and dinosaurs? I don't care. Some of that's probably tainted by the fact that so many people think that we dig up dinosaurs, and so anytime dinosaurs or paleontology is brought up, I have a knee-jerk reaction to absolutely hate it or be in a bad mood. But generally speaking, I don't really care for paleontology. It's just not a thing. When I was younger, a lot younger, I was into dinosaurs, but at no point did I think that dinosaurs and archaeology were the same thing. So yeah, paleontology, I could really care less for. If I snuck into a paleontology dig site, how long would I last? I don't know. I'm actually pretty good at bullshitting my way through stuff, so maybe good long time. Vice versa though, I don't think a paleontologist would last as an archaeologist at an excavation because they're just so different, I would think. I don't know. Maybe they're similar. I don't know, couldn't tell you. Which leads to the next question. How similar, unsimilar are archaeology and paleontology on a deeper level? I don't know what you mean by on a deeper level, but I can tell you, I don't know paleontology on a deeper level. We're not on speaking terms. So, What are your thoughts on dinosaurs? Don't care. And lastly, Jurassic Park, yes or no? Great movies. I've read the book. So, there you have it. Sorry if that upset any of you who asked those questions, but I don't really care about paleontology or dinosaurs. So, moving on. This is a long one. How long would one of these more modern sites need to sit to be of interest to an archaeologist? This actually goes along with another one. At what point in time does grave robbing become archaeology, or is that an ambiguous area? It's not an ambiguous area. Sometimes it is. So let me just quickly go over sort of the difference between grave robbing and archaeology. Grave robbing, you are digging stuff up for profit, and you are not caring where it comes from. Archaeology, you are systematically excavating, digging things up, but it's a very controlled method. You are documenting everything, and you are not profiting off of those artifacts directly. Big difference. As for the time frame that something would need to be in the ground before it's considered archaeology, this is generally, in America, 50 years. 50 years, and then it becomes archaeology. Now, does that mean anything over 50 years old in the ground is not grave robbing? And the answer is no. That does not mean that. There are plenty of cultures out there that still consider what archaeologists do, no matter how they do it, to be grave robbing. And that's okay. They can have those thoughts. But I try to be a little more respectful when it comes to certain societies and cultures. Well, actually all cultures, especially when I'm digging stuff up. I'm not digging up objects. I'm digging up things that people owned and made and cared for. And some archaeologists don't really think that way. And that's a shame. But a lot of them do. And we try to be caring individuals when it comes to stuff like that. But some people still consider what we do to be grave robbing, no matter how we do it. So, anyways, there's that. Okay. These next two are actually another misconception. I totally forgot about a third misconception that people have. Some people seem to think that archaeologists keep what they dig up. And that is not the case. We do not keep what we dig up. We don't pick something up off the ground, document it, stuff it in our pocket, go home and sell it on eBay. Okay? But some people think that. So, these next two questions. Do you have a personal collection of artifacts, whether from random finds or dig sites? Now, that question was asked and was immediately answered by someone telling you that, whoever it was, that Figmint77, that is considered looting. And that is considered looting. However, with that being said, there's a lot of people whose blood pressure just shot up because I said however in regards to this question. I don't have a collection of artifacts, but there are plenty of people out there who are archaeologists who originally started off as kids finding things in fields, and that was their initial spark to get them into archaeology. And though they were doing things that were wrong because they were taking things out of context, that doesn't necessarily mean that wasn't for a good cause. It created the spark to get them into archaeology, which is good. They probably shouldn't be proud that they have that collection, but it's definitely a part of who they are. With that being said as well, there are plenty of institutions out there that have what are called unprovenienced artifacts. And what that is artifacts that don't have provenience, obviously, but basically the context in which they were found. Basically looting. People would take things and then turn them into museums or universities or stuff like that. Matter of fact, the college and the university that I went to both had collections of stuff that was turned into them that didn't have any kind of context, that is then used for students to learn on. If you or someone you know has a bunch of artifacts that they are trying to get rid of, that they looted from somewhere, or that they, didn't know any better but took, they can always turn it into their local university if it has an anthropology department with some archaeologists on staff, to be used as training material. So there you go. This then leads into the next question, which is, have you ever found an artifact worth more than $20,000? I don't know why that number, but $20,000. Maybe? I don't know. The thing about archaeology and the thing about artifacts is that artifacts, their intrinsic value is based on their context, at least to an archaeologist. I don't know if I've ever found anything that would have been appraised at that much. That seems like an awful lot. I would think that that something that I found that would be appraised at any kind of value over its value to society was probably a Clovis point that I found several years ago on a survey. I don't know what those go for. Look them up on eBay. Then they might go for, I don't think they go for 20,000. If they do, I'm in the wrong profession. All right. Now, let's get to some questions. How come Sept and Oct means 7 and 8, yet September and October are the 9th and 10th months? I know it has something to do with the Roman calendar. I don't know. I don't know. Moving on. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Oh man, this is going to really disappoint a lot of you. I actually like vanilla, but not like the plain vanilla that you get, the cheapy stuff. I'm talking like the really intense vanilla, like the French vanilla or the vanilla bean vanilla. Yeah, I really like that stuff. I'm not a big chocolate fan, which is probably going to freak a lot of you out. But yeah, vanilla. Lots of really good options of vanilla. Ooh, or, those strawberry shortcake ice cream pops, the ones with the little crunchy things on the outside. Yeah, those are really good too. I grew up with the little cups, the little plastic cups with the vanilla, and it's got like the swirls of strawberry in there, and it's got like a wooden spoon with it that you eat, and the wooden spoon kind of gives it a little bit of like a wood taste to it, but it kind of enhances it. Anyways, going on a rant. Those little cups, those are, but that's, I think, more of a nostalgia thing. But yeah, it's vanilla, which is probably really disappointing. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. The terrain is absolutely gorgeous. I'm out here on the bike, and it is just a nice freaking day. It is wonderful out here. So I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great too. All of you, every single one of you. You know what? Tell you what. Let's go back to Field Daskalos and have him answer some more questions. Moving on. Another one. Another couple of questions that are sort of linked together. How do archaeologists deal with sites that may have links to presently existing indigenous groups? Are the groups consulted? What kind of agreements are expected / common? And what happens if there's an archaeological site discovered where people are currently living? Both of those are pretty close together in regards to how I'm going to answer it. In America, we have what is called a Section 106 process, which is a very detailed process in which you have to go through before you undertake any kind of archaeological project, whether it's excavation, survey, anything. And usually excavation. And part of that is contacting current groups alive today that have any kind of connection with where you are going to be. What that means is, it's a lot more than you think. Indigenous groups that claim that they are descendants of the people that you might be running into as you do stuff, and other interest groups that have general interests in the area, like, I don't know, like a nature watch group or something like that, okay? also with people that are currently living there, to a lesser degree, all right? In the past, Delphi is a really good example. The site at Delphi was actually being inhabited by people when they found Delphi, when they rediscovered Delphi, and they actually moved the people down the hill. They built them all new houses and everything and moved them down the hill. We don't really do that nowadays. Archaeological sites existing where people are living is a lot more common than you think, okay? If you live in America and you live in a fairly large town, at any point in time as you're moving around town, there is probably a site under your feet. And a lot of archaeologists probably are not going to like the fact that I'm saying that, because they don't want people looking for the stuff, and you should not be digging stuff up, okay? But the population density in the Americas prior to contact rivaled that of Europe. There were very dense population centers, and there was widespread population in the Americas. So when we're talking about archaeological sites where people currently live, congratulations, that's pretty much everywhere. All right? So what happens if there's a site? It was a really dusty day, by the way, sorry. What happens if there's a site where people are currently living? Well, you go through the Section 106 process. Generally speaking, you're not going to move the site. You're not going to do things there unless it's super important, so I wouldn't even worry about it. Moving on, next section. I like to call this one being an archaeologist. And this is going to be general questions about what it's like to be an archaeologist. First one up, what's it like being an archaeologist? Well, kind of cool. If you have a exploratory spirit, archaeology is definitely a cool thing to do. If you're the type of person that recognizes patterns a lot, archaeology is a good thing to do. If you're very inquisitive and you can figure things out from clues, you know, like a detective, archaeology is the thing to do. If you like any of those things, you'll enjoy archaeology. The downsides to archaeology is that, one, it's not always a stable career choice, okay, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. And two, it's hard on the body, especially CRM work. I often joke that what you get for your 10-year anniversary at a CRM firm is new knees, and it would be a joke if it weren't true, and it is very true. I know a lot of people with really bad knees, really bad hips, and have had to have them replaced and stuff. So being an archaeologist has its ups and downs. Generally speaking, though, it's a pretty cool thing to do, especially if you're out somewhere and you don't know a lot of people. You can just blurt out, "I'm an archaeologist," and immediately deflect a bunch of dinosaur questions. But meet a lot of really cool people. Anyways, moving on. As an archaeologist, where have you worked, excavated so far in your career? The Southwest United States is where I've worked exclusively in my career. Southwest archaeology pays the bills, so there's usually a lot of work that needs to be done. Sometimes it's pretty gross and rough, but generally speaking, Southwest America is a pretty good gig to have as an archaeologist because there's work to be done. These next two are also put together because they're very similar. This kind of goes along with the archaeology Minecraft videos I did. So did you break, lost any artifact? So have you broken or lost any artifacts, or do you know someone who has? Follow that with, they talk about my Minecraft series. Have you witnessed you or anyone part of an excavation destroy or harm an artifact or similar? Was it impactful? How devastating? Okay, and something to keep in mind is that artifacts are never truly destroyed or broken. I mean, we can break them. I mean, you break sherds open to see the inside, usually a small corner or something, so that you don't destroy the whole thing. That's part of the analysis thing. But if you have a projectile point and it's broken in half on accident because your shovel hits it, well, now you just have 2 fragments of a projectile point. So things get broken all the time. It's the way of the world. We break things all the time, whether by accident or on purpose, but things are never lost. You don't lose them. They're not, you don't break something and suddenly, oh, can't use it anymore, can't get any good information off of it. Things can get washed downhill, washed away, sherds can be broken, but unless you take a sherd and actually grind it into powder, it's not truly lost. Nothing is ever truly lost. It's always still here, maybe in a different form, but it's still here. So to kind of answer your questions, no, I've never lost any artifacts. Have I broken some? Oh yeah, all the time. When you say stuff like that, though, you're thinking of like pots that are broken, and that's no, we don't do that. All right. What do you know about the people you study that would most surprise the general public? Well, they're a lot like us. That's a big one. A lot of people seem to think of people in the past a very specific way. It doesn't help that archaeology focused a lot on royalty and palaces and things like that, and really sort of forgot about the everyday person. But when we think of, like, for example, a medieval peasant, we think of somebody dirty and bad teeth and never leaves their area. But that's not necessarily true. We know of people who moved around and things like that. They're just like us. They appreciate things. They like art. They like good food. They repair clothing. Anyways, that's, I think, what would surprise most people, is that there's usually really specific preconceived notions about people in the past, and they're kind of it's like a whole different animal from us, but they're just us living in a different time. That's what I would think would. I don't know, maybe it doesn't surprise you. Maybe I'm full of it.
Let's break up the monotony and check in with Minecraft Daskalos and see what he's up to.
All right, so the next couple of them is about the how and why of Minecraft. So, how did you choose Minecraft as the game you play for your channel? How did you get into Minecraft? What was your experience? What got you interested into Minecraft? And then another one there, how long have you been playing Minecraft? So I started playing Minecraft probably about 6 to 9 months before I released my first Minecraft video. And the way I got into it was I watch some people on YouTube, and one of the people I watch a lot is Kevin O'Reilly, or Call Me Kevin. If you don't watch his channel, you should. He's hilarious. Anyways, he had a few Minecraft episodes where he did stuff in Minecraft, different little challenges and stuff. And because I watched that, of course, YouTube picked up on the algorithm and sort of suggested other Minecraft stuff. And I started noticing all this stuff from all these other creators where you could build crazy things. And so I thought, I wonder if anyone has ever built, insert whatever, Knossos or Mycenae, Pylos, in Minecraft. And so I did a search, and I found that people had done stuff in the style of Mycenae in Greece, and I've seen people have done stuff from like classical period Greece, but nothing really like, hey, today we're gonna build Pylos or whatever, kind of what I'm doing basically. And so I got the game,
and I started playing with it to sort of figure out what all you could do with it, kind of get a good feel for it. Because the last thing I wanted to do was film my very first jump into Minecraft. And I'll tell you right now, I absolutely 100% regret doing that. I really should have filmed that first dive into Minecraft because it was hilarious. I got wrecked by every single mob in the middle of the night you could think of, because I thought I was going to build like a 15 by 15 giant house or something on my first day. Yeah, I was punching stone to get it, not using a pickaxe and stuff. It was dumb. It was really dumb, but it was hilarious thinking back at it, back on it. And I was literally, I must have died 24 times in the course of that first night on Minecraft, until I figured out, like, dude, no, 4x4 hole in the ground with a roof over it, and you wait 10 minutes and come back out. Yeah, there was a lot of cursing, and a lot of, what am I doing? And how is this a kid's game? That kind of thing. And yeah, and I realized that it's not a kid's game. It is absolutely, I mean, it can be. You can play it like that, but that's a nice thing about Minecraft, is it's so open, and it's whatever you want to make it. And so yeah, that was kind of what got me interested in it. I'd seen other people doing stuff. I thought, hey, I would really like to rebuild, Mycenae in Greece in Minecraft, and I got it to check its viability on doing that. And I don't know, maybe someday I'll take you into that first world. I think I still have it on my laptop somewhere. It's it is what it is. But yeah, that's how I got into Minecraft, and that's why I chose it for my channel, because there's no other real game out there that allows you to create things like that the way this one does. Yeah, everything's super blocky, but you could go super crazy modded with it and make things that look excellent. I mean, I'm not going to do modded stuff, and that's one of the questions later on. Actually, why don't we jump into that question now? Will you ever consider Minecraft mods to add better blocks? And the answer is no. And I've said this a few times before, and for those of you who are new here, or those of you who may have missed it, my whole sort of purpose for this is to make this completely accessible. And what I mean by that is, I want anyone, whether they have Minecraft on a console, Minecraft on a 10-year-old PC, or a 10-year-old laptop like how I started, or even a mobile version of Minecraft, I want them to be able to see what I'm doing and do it themselves, or at least be able to do it themselves. I want someone to say, I can build Pylos just like how he's doing it, or I can build whatever you want to build. And I don't want it to be one of those things where somebody looks at my channel and says, well, I could do that if I had those mods, or if my computer could run those mods. I want it to be accessible to everyone, everywhere. So yeah, anyways, let's move on. All right, next question. What's it like being the best Minecraft YouTuber in history? Well, flattery will get you everywhere. I don't think I'm the best Minecraft YouTuber in history. I just think I'm doing something unique, something that other people haven't done. And I think that that maybe that makes me sort of stand out from a lot of people. Maybe that makes me, unique. Maybe that makes me the first of my kind. Hopefully I'm the first of my kind. But I don't think it really makes me the best Minecraft YouTuber out there. I'm just a little, a little ahead of the game. I saw a opening there and I took it. With that being said, there are other people out there doing archaeology-based Minecraft stuff. And I've seen a lot of their stuff. Matter of fact, one or two of them at least subscribe to this channel. And, it's kind of a shame that I blew up and they haven't. But I can kind of see the appeal of what I'm doing versus what some other people might be doing. That's not to say that you shouldn't check out their channels. You absolutely should. There's lots of really, really good information. But yeah, I mean, what's it like being the best Minecraft YouTuber in history? I don't know. Maybe you should ask them. Oh, this guy. Tell you what, let's answer some questions. Let's do some interpretation questions, because a lot of people ask about what an interpretive guide is, because I have it in all my intros and stuff, and there's a lot of questions in my comment section about that. So we're going to address that here with this lump of questions here. You mentioned you're a certified interpretive guide. I'm curious about what that entails, what your focus is in that role. What do you do as an interpretive guide? What is an interpretive guide, and how do you become one? And so what an interpretive guide is, well, if you've ever been to a national park or a historical site or something like that, and you've taken a tour by somebody who's leading you around, showing you things and telling you things, and telling you more than what maybe the guidebook might say or something like that, that's an interpretive guide. So if you've ever been to like Mesa Verde and taken a ranger-led guide of Cliff Palace, you were being led by an interpretive guide or interpretive ranger, kind of the same job. There's a couple little differences, but for the most part, it's the same job. So, yeah, that's what I did. I did that for the National Park Service exclusively for quite a while. Like I mentioned in my intro, I worked in Wyoming, Virgin Islands, New Mexico, which is where I'm at now, which I really like New Mexico. You know, and I've done all kinds of different things. I've talked about the engineering and labor hours it goes into to build structures with the ancestral Puebloans. I've talked about historical stuff. I've led people on hikes. I've taken them snorkeling, stuff like that. It's all about interpreting the natural and cultural world for the public, basically. So it's sort of an educational role, but you basically just do that. And to become one, you apply. I mean, there's no real special training. If you go to the Park Service, they usually train you on the job. So, yeah. I mean, you do have to have some sort of conversational, ability. But generally speaking, you get trained on how to do it. So, anyways, let's move on. Actually, you know what? Tell you what. Let's get back to Minecraft Daskalos, and we'll answer more questions later. Minecraft Daskalos, take it away. This one pops up a lot. Would you ever join Hermitcraft or any of the other big SMPs? Well, something to that effect pops up all the time. From what I'm to understand, Hermitcraft, I think everyone on the server has to agree to let you in or something. I don't know. Look, I don't think I'm Hermitcraft material anyways, but I think they all have to like vote you in or something. And I think I say fuck too much for them to vote me in anyways. And then I think the other big SMPs though, like Empires, I think that would be a good fit. I mean, we all know what Empire I'd be building on it. I don't know if I'd be violent on it though, like the Mycenaeans would. Maybe wage war, but there's a lot of people on those servers that could whoop me good because, I'm only a year and some odd months into playing the game. I'm still a newbie. But would I ever join Hermitcraft or any of the other big SMPs? I don't know. The thing is I did this channel to sort of merge entertainment with education and do some things. I mean, that's why I do a lot of the things that I do. And I don't know if I could do that on a big server like that. Maybe. Or maybe it would just be an offshoot series for you guys to watch. I did bring up a while back the idea of doing sort of more of a role play type story driven series, and I'm actually working on that now, and I think you guys will like it. But even that one we're still doing some slight educational parts to it. And yeah, I don't know, would I ever join any of them? I mean, if they extended the offer, maybe. I don't see them extending the offer. I'm just some little YouTuber. I've got 19,500 subscribers, and all because of one short series that blew up. So I don't think that they would extend an offer. But I don't know. Maybe you guys can start pestering them. Don't do that. Don't harass them to put some random YouTuber on their SMP. But I don't know, maybe. I wonder who I'd get along with. I feel like I'd get along with Doc. I don't think I'd get along with, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who I'd get along with, but I bet there'd be a few that I would get along with. Joel, maybe. Oh my God, we'd probably wreck some shit. Anyways, moving on. How long? Oh, no, I already did that one. How do you play Minecraft off camera? So there's like different types of Minecrafters, you know, like redstoners and explorers and speedrunners and builders and I don't know, survivalists and hardcore and stuff like that. And contrary to the Bronze Age series that I'm doing, I don't consider myself to be a builder. I do kind of like doing stuff like that because I'm naturally a creative person, but I honestly consider myself to be an explorer. My normal world that I have 4 maps that are the largest that they can go, so the most area that they can cover, and I have the entirety of those filled out with a little book on a lectern with all the coordinates of all the really cool places that I want to go explore. And it's, you know, it's a lot of really cool stuff out there. The world generation in this game is amazing. Some of the stuff that generates, you're just like, what? How did that even, like stuff that you don't find in the real world, of course. And I think a lot of it's super cool. There's a lot of really cool world generation out there. And for a really blocky game, it can be quite stunning to see it. And especially if you got like shaders on and stuff like that, it gets even more stunning to see some of these things. So I would consider myself an explorer off camera on Minecraft. I like building a base, getting a bunch of supplies, getting a boat, getting a bed, and just going off in a direction with a map and filling out maps and checking places out. And that's not surprising, seeing that I'm an archaeologist, because archaeology kind of satiates that need to explore. Moving on. What's your least favorite Minecraft update? Oh man, this is gonna piss a lot of people off. Well, first off, let me just tell you, I started shortly after the Caves and Cliffs update. So prior to that, I don't know of any of the other updates. That's my baseline, is the Caves and Cliffs, which is insane by itself. But my least favorite Minecraft update has got to be the cherry trees. I think they're ugly. I honestly think they're ugly. I think the fact that they drop leaves and petals and stuff like that when none of the other trees do is dumb. Pink wood, I have no use for it.
It's not pink. It's like a lightish red.
I would have rather some other type of wood if they were going to do it, or some other type of tree, but yeah, I don't like the cherry trees. I know there's a lot of people that are like all about it and love them, but I don't. Nope, sure don't. I also don't like the mangroves, but not for the reason you think. A lot of people don't like the mangroves because they're hard to harvest. I don't like the mangroves because they're not that realistic. That's a whole nother discussion for another time. All right. One more episode to go. See you then.